I'm Muriel Médard. I'm a professor in electrical engineering and computer science at MIT. I've been on the faculty there since 2000. I'm past president of the Information Theory Society, and my work is information theory, communications, and networking. I came from France for my undergraduate. I originally thought of being a math major. I took a couple of courses in electrical engineering just to try it out, and it turned out I really loved it, so I stayed in it. I became an academic because I started doing some student supervision where I was working at MIT Lincoln Lab, and I discovered that I really loved it. I love supervising students, and I loved research a lot more than I realized. Random codes are something that my group's been working on for a long time. The work originally came out of Tracy Ho's doctoral thesis. She was one of my first doctoral students, so I was insanely fortunate to have an excellent batch of early students, which really helped in launching my career and in really forging the ethos of the group. And that's something which started very much on the theoretical side, and we have been pushing further into different practical applications, such as incorporating random linear network coding in current transport protocols like TCP, and also looking at doing TCP over heterogeneous networks. So, for instance, using random linear network codes to combine, say, the 3G or 4G on your phone with the Wi-Fi. My early work in information theory was in wireless information theory, which is a very active area now, but was noticeably less active at the time when I was a grad student. I was fortunate enough to have a thesis advisor, Bob Gallagher, who was very open-minded and let me work on something which he thought was a little bit off the beaten track and somewhat high risk. And it worked out well for me because he gave me that leeway, and graduate school gives you that time to really consider a problem in depth over a few years. We're a minority. Our society is under 10% women from the point of view of just a membership stats. That being said, I was the second woman president elected to society, so certainly our society has not been, I think, close to women. I was fortunate to have a lot of mentors around me, and certainly my friend Andrea Goldsmith helped me out a lot with a lot of excellent advice, still does. So it's important to get a good mentoring network. Society has a mentor network. That's one of my proudest achievements, was to start that. At the same time, started WITHITS. I hope people use it. It's good to feel that you're not alone, because you're not. You just have to make sure that you allow yourself not to be alone. The mentoring turned out to be very popular, and WITHITS, under the leadership of people who came after me, really blossomed and took off. It was always supposed to be inclusive, to have activities which are of particular use to underrepresented demographics, but of general use to our entire membership. I have a paper. I was fortunate to get invited to give a paper, and I come every year. I think I must have missed maybe 1 year. It's a wonderful conference, and I used to teach here, I used to live here, so I see a lot of friends. It's definitely one of the highlights. It's a rendezvous point both for presenting results and being able to collaborate. Right, two startup companies, yeah. One here in the States, Codon, and one in Denmark. You know, a lot of people in the field of communications and networking, both those fields do entrepreneurial activity. I think it's quite common. We're fortunate that our universities give us that flexibility. I had wonderful mentors. I think it's important to remain open-minded. That's the main thing, because if you're very close-minded about what area you work in, you might miss opportunities. Probably one of the areas where our contributions haven't reached their full potential is still in networking, particularly going into the areas of content distribution and the amount of information that's been proliferating, still by and large unmanaged. So I think that really trying to tame the networks that we have currently and manage the data based on information theoretic principles, I think that's going to allow our field to have a lot of impact for quite a while. There are people who are really good at thinking what the types of user and consumer devices are going to be, and there are people who look more at how to make them more efficient. I'm definitely in the latter category.